Welcome to Guitar Fun 101, another episode, and that means grab your guitars, tune them up, and I'll meet you right back here.
This is gonna be the best one yet. If I remember the chords and I don't forget.
Alright, so this week we're going to learn a song that most people know, Knocking on Heaven's Door. And there's a few house cleaning items to do. One is, some of you may not know how to tune your guitar. So most of you are going to need something called a guitar tuner. At the very least, you can get one probably online for free just to get you by, but I suggest going down to your local music store and keeping it local. Keep your purchases local and get yourself a guitar tuner. And remember, the names of your strings are E, A, D, G, B, E, and you'll tune each one accordingly. So now that we have that out of the way, let's start. The first chord is a G. So G is going to look like this. And remember, we've been talking about this for a while now. You want to keep your thumb behind the guitar neck. You want to squeeze using your fingertips, and you want to curl your fingers until each note rings. Now, what a lot of people do when they're first learning, I've seen hundreds and hundreds of people learn, and it's funny because a lot of them do the exact same thing, and I probably did the exact same thing too. You're learning something new, and you think that you're going to get some points by just doing everything as quick as possible. That is the surefire way to get discouraged and to go slower than you really want to go. So go slow. Thorough and accurate brings you where you want to go. Alright, so once you get your G chord, this song has three ingredients. One is G, the other one is D, with your first three fingers. On our D chord, we're going to avoid playing string 6. Be thorough, and you're going to get there. If you want to rush, practice a lot and practice slow, and you'll get there quick. Alright? So, first chord, G. Now, you'll notice as I'm switching fingers, as I switch between chords, I'm keeping my third finger, my ring finger, perfectly still and right where it was on string 2. So I'm just switching between chords, G to a D. There's another version of G. It's more of a songwriter's G, and it uses all 4 fingers, and the benefit of that is it sounds a little bit smoother, and it also allows you to keep your finger still when you're switching. Alright? So there's 2 ways of switching, and both of them will be documented. Okay, next chord is A minor 7. Now for some of you, switching chords is no problem because you've already done your work on it. And for some of you, you are newer and you have yet to do that work. So the most important part about guitar playing is being patient and never criticizing yourself, because it doesn't really help at all. So if you're there struggling to switch chords, that means that you are doing what millions of other people aren't. Millions of people have said, I would love to play guitar, and then they don't. But you are actually doing it. So just keep on practicing your switches between all 3 chords, as long as that might take. now we're going to talk about timing. And your first chord is going to get 2 beats, your second chord D is going to get 2 beats, and your fourth chord A is going to get 4 beats. There's another chord that we're going to use too, and that's a C. I almost left that one out. And we'll talk more about that one in a second. So for now, you've got 3 chords. All right, so what we're going to do is keep a steady beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and go G for 2, D for 2, A minor 7 for 4. Okay? And it's going to sound like this. Okay? Now, let's talk about the strum and the picking. So, with your right hand, we're going to go. So, I'm going to talk to you about strumming, too. There's this little technique for actually keeping your timing. And what you do is, you think of your right hand as a clutch, right? Or as a flywheel, right? It's always moving. It's always keeping time. But you could bring it in. It's like bringing in your clutch, right? So when your clutch is engaged, the car is moving forward. When it's not, it's just idling, right? So here's our beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Bring in your clutches. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the faster you idle, 1. See that? It's still the same sound, but you have more options, so you can go 1. See? So I'm going. So I'm actually going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So I'm accenting the first downbeat. So it'll be G, G, D, D, A, 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 A. All right, so there's 4. Okay, if you can do that, you've got the whole song. And it's going to sound a little something like this. Okay, now there's a little advanced part. There's a couple of advanced parts if you want to throw those in. And it's your C chord. So in the actual song, it goes G, D, A minor, followed by G, D, C. The good thing is your A minor 7 looks like this, if you'll recall, like an A minor 7 with 2 fingers. And your C is just going to have 1 added finger thrown in. All right? And it looks like that. All right? So you got your A minor and you got your C. All right. So here's the final version of just the guitar playing. Okay, so If you can do that, you can probably also play hundreds of other songs that use the same 3 chords, G, D, and A. So if you can't play those chords yet, that'll give you something to really want to learn and to work towards. We're going to talk a little bit about singing over music. Everybody can sing and enjoy it. I didn't say everybody's going to sound just like Pavarotti or whoever your favorite singer is, but the joy of singing is for every human being who has a voice. So let's bring it on to some music now too that you're actually playing. So these are the chords, and the actual notes are B on string 5, and you're gonna go. So B, B, A. So just practice matching those notes. Right? So the most important part is your first note. If your first note is like, then you know there's some work to be done. Now you might at first be a little bit too low, like then just try to find it. If you can't do that, you can always get some help from a friend or a teacher to tell you if you're too high or too low or right on that note until you can do it yourself. It might take you a few days just to be able to go, Mama, put my guns in the ground, right? So you want to practice, and you might even just want to practice playing just the beat. Mama, put my guns in the ground. I can't use them anymore. All right, so my point is, you might see someone playing and they're singing and it just sounds great. What you haven't seen is them practicing in their room or at their house alone for hours and hours and hours. And that's what you can do, and then you can do the same exact stuff, okay? So here's the end result. Thank you for joining us this week. Loved having you. Keep on practicing. Hang out with people who play.